Alright, in the last problem, there's a lot involved. We have sodium carbonate reacting with silver nitrate to form solid silver carbonate and a solution of sodium nitrate. So here you need to be able to write and balance your chemical reaction. Alright, so I have sodium carbonate plus silver nitrate reacts to form silver carbonate plus sodium nitrate, and to balance it I need a 2 here and a 2 here. Alright, so I'm going to write down what I'm given. I have 6.50 grams of sodium carbonate and 7 grams of silver nitrate. Now, just to make this a little easier, I'm going to go ahead and write down all the molar masses of these compounds. So I have 105.978, I have 169.87, and 275.74, and 84.996. Alright, so these are molar masses. And what is it we want to know? We know that initially we are starting with this much and we don't have any of our product. And the question is asking how much of each compound is left after the reaction is complete. So we are trying to find out how much of each of these. So this is a limiting reagent problem, but whichever one is in excess, we're going to have some of it left over. Alright, so let's find out what the limiting reagent is first. I'm going to take the 6.50 grams of sodium carbonate, convert it to moles, alright, for every 1 mole of sodium carbonate, I have 1 mole of silver carbonate. It doesn't matter which product you use as long as you use the same one for each calculation. So mole for every 1 mole of silver carbonate. I'll convert that to grams, 275.74 grams per mole, and I get 16.9 grams of silver carbonate. Alright, so now let me check the 7.0 grams of silver nitrate. There's 169.87 grams per mole of silver nitrate. For every 2 moles of silver nitrate, I have 1 mole of silver carbonate. Remember, I need to compare the same one in order to determine the limiting reagent. Then I'm going to convert this to grams, and that gives me 5.68 grams of silver carbonate. Alright, so this first one is not the case. Alright, so our limiting reagent is this one. So this one's limiting, this one's in excess. So we should have 0 grams left over of the limiting reagent at the end. And we'll have 5.68 grams here. Alright, so we've already got 2 answers. Alright, so let's use the 7.0 grams of silver nitrate to find out how much sodium nitrate we produce. Now notice that our limiting reagent was the one with more mass. Don't use mass to compare. You always have to look at moles. Or you can get to mass of the product and compare which one made less. Alright, so let's determine sodium nitrate. Alright, 169.87 grams per mole of silver nitrate. For every 2 moles of silver nitrate, you have 2 moles of sodium nitrate. and sodium nitrate is 84.996 grams per mole, and that gives us 3.50 grams of sodium nitrate. Let me circle or box in these answers. So I found this, 3.50 grams. All right, so the only thing I have left to find is the amount of sodium carbonate left over. So what I'm going to do is use the 7 grams of silver nitrate to find out how much of that is needed. Or I can use this to calculate how much sodium carbonate I need to react with it. You can do stoichiometry with on the same side of a reaction, going from reactants to products, going from products to reactants. So now I'm going to use one reactant to find out how much of the other reactant I need. So convert to moles. For every 2 moles of silver nitrate, I need 1 mole of sodium carbonate, and sodium carbonate is 105.978 grams per mole, and that gives me 2.18 grams of sodium carbonate needed. All right, so that's how much I used, needed or used. All right, and I have 6.5 grams, so 6.50 grams minus the 2.18 that I need in the reaction gives me 4.32 grams left over. That's the amount in excess. All right. So this one is 4.32 grams. And that's how you would do this problem.